It is going to take us about 30 seconds and I will be starting this webinar. All right. So here we are starting with this webinar where I will be sharing with you the idea that how we can make some specific notes. एक ऐसे notes कैसे बनाए जाएं जिनसे कि we can ensure that yes, we are preparing it in a different way and it is the difference that we create with our notes that help us qualify in this prestigious exam. So जो हम एक अलग ढंग से अपने notes बनाते हैं उनसे ही आपको वो एक edge मिलता है, वो एक advantage मिलता है कि आप इस एग्जाम को easily qualify कर सको. अगर आप कभी भी किसी पुराने स्टूडेंट से मिलो जिसने इस एग्जाम को क्वालिफाई किया, द टॉपर्स, दे विल ऑलवेज टेल यू दिस थिंग दैट अनलेस यू मेक योर ओन नोट्स यू आर नॉट प्रिपेयरिंग फॉर दिस एग्जाम. आप किसी से कोई भी नोट्स ले लो, कहीं से कुछ भी बुक्स ले लो, जब तक आपने अपने नोट्स नहीं बनाए हैं रिवीजन के लिए तब तक आपने इस एग्जाम की जेन्युइन प्रिपरेशन की ही नहीं है. ये एक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट फैक्ट है जिसको हम कभी भी डिनाई नहीं करेंगे. राइट, दिस इज वन थिंग. नाउ मेनी पीपल हैव रेज्ड देयर हैंड्स. Can you guys please wait till the end, and I will be taking everyone's doubt towards the end. Instead ki I start with your doubts. Let me first explain that what exactly is the plan for these note making things, and once we are done with it we will be taking up your doubts. And the smallest request before we proceed, it is going to be a bilingual thing, so don't waste your time and energy by typing English only. मैं इसमें इंग्लिश हिंदी दोनों यूज करूंगा, तो प्लीज ये लिखकर हिंदी में बोलिए, इंग्लिश में बोलिए, ऐसा मत कीजिए. एंड आई सपोज Venishri, I have told that this is going to be a bilingual session so that most of the people can take advantage out of it. So please stop this language dispute. It has become a history now. Whenever I come live, people start talking about only a language issue. We must now rise above this language issue. When I speak bilingually, I cater to maximum audience. So please try to adjust to this thing now, right? And I have told that I will be taking doubts at the end, not at the beginning. So let's start with our journey to understand the importance of notes and how these notes can be made. See, I tell you something. When I talk about various topics like history, polity, economy, geography, every topic is an independent arc, right? Every topic is an arc. But when I talk about these arcs, these are incomplete, right? And when we complete our syllabus, we make our own notes and we understand that how they can be integrated, we end up making a complete circle. This complete circle is your notes. These arcs are like various books that people recommend. These can be NCRT books. These can be standard books like people recommending Lakshmikant or any other book. These arcs can be newspapers. These can be magazines. These can be any other notes, right? Printed notes or anything. Everything is like an arc. Till the time you yourself connect these arcs, you connect them in a beautiful way and complete your circle, you are not preparing for this exam. I hope you understand and agree to this. So better it will be that we interact through the chat box instead of raising the hands. Give me some time, and once I'm done with this explanation, you can raise your hands and I will be giving doubts. I will be taking your doubts and giving you replies. If you think that by raising your hands you can get the mic, I'm sorry, it is not the time to give mic. So now here we are. Let's understand that what all is required for making these notes. Stage 1 for making notes will always be your NCRT. Now, when people ask me about a thing that, sir, I will appear in 2021, some will say, sir, I will appear in 2022 or 2023 or even 2024, right? These are the target years for the audience. How many of you are targeting for which particular year? Can you please tell me? Which particular year are you guys aiming for? 21, 22, 23, 24? Amazing, amazing, great. So let's try understand this. Whichever year you are aiming at, the foundation is going to be laid through NCRTs. So we must read NCRTs. Which all NCRTs? Class 6 to 12, right? But is it important that we need to read every chapter of every book from class 6 to 12? The answer simply is no. दिस इज नो इंटेलेक्चुअल इंटिमिडेशन, आपको डराने का काम नहीं करते हैं। आईएएस की तैयारी का मतलब ये नहीं है कि आपने हर बुक का हर चैप्टर पढ़ना है। यू हैव टू रीड सम ऑफ द चैप्टर्स फ्रॉम सम ऑफ द बुक्स। उसकी भी एक लिस्ट मेरे पास बनी हुई है, विच आई विल शेयर विद एवरीवन, so you need not worry about it. I will be sharing this list with all of you at the end of the session, right? So yes, from 6 to 12 ncrts, not all but selected books and selected chapters. This is your first requirement, selected books and selected chapters. Now, before you go further to the second step, this is your step 1 that you have to read ncrts. अब इसके बाद जो step 2 से पहले एक step है वो क्या है? Integration of ncrts. Now what I mean by integration of ncrts, so let's take one of the best example for integration of ncrts. Let's say I have to read the topic on environment. So while reading the topic of environment, there are chapters of environment in our geography ncrts. So pick up books, select the topics in the ncrt books, that these are the topics that cover or cater the कैप्सूल ऑफ एनवायरमेंट. सो कुछ ज्योग्राफी की बुक्स में आपको एनवायरमेंट रिलेटेड चैप्टर्स मिलेंगे, 6 to 12 की ज्योग्राफी की बुक में एनवायरमेंट रिलेटेड चैप्टर्स हैं. देन पिक अप द बुक ऑफ बायोलॉजी क्लास 12. You will find a particular topic on environment in class 12 biology book. Then pick up the book of political science, right? You will find chapter on environment in political science. Now integrate them, make one comprehensive note instead of making 3 different notes on environment. Make one note, and this is your step 1. You have completed stage 1. You have read your ncrts, not randomly, not indiscriminately, but with a plan. You selected a topic, you then search that in which book the topic is catered to, and then you read it in a single go. आपने पहले ये डिसाइड किया कि मैं एनसीईआरटीज पढ़ूंगा, किस टॉपिक के लिए पढ़ूंगा, वो टॉपिक कौन कौन से क्लास की कौन कौन से चैप्टर्स में दिए हैं, और उनको एक साथ पढ़ के आपने अपना एक मोस्ट कॉम्प्रिहेंसिव एनवायरनमेंट का नोट बना लिया. ये थी स्टेज 1. फिर आती है आपके लिए स्टेज 2. नाउ व्हेन वी एंटर स्टेज 2, व्हाट वी नीड टू डू? सो इन स्टेज 2 आई विल पिक अप माय recommended book. Recommended book you can call it, or you can call it advanced book. For example, now we started with environment. So in this book on environment, usually people, the toppers, the institutions, they recommend a book by Shankar IAS, right? Shankar IAS book on environment, an amazing book. So you must read it. Now once you start reading it, remember you have already read the basic concepts, you know the meaning of the basic terms. आपको ना साधारण शब्दों का मतलब पता था, आपके लिए अब कुछ भी डिफिकल्ट नहीं था. अब आप इस बुक को बेटर अंडरस्टैंड और अप्रिशिएट कर सकते हो. सो पहले आपने एनसीईआरटी पढ़ी, उसके नोट्स नहीं बनाए, फिर आपने शंकर आईएएस के नोट्स पढ़े, बुक को पढ़ा, अब आप अपने नोट्स बनाने शुरू करो. मैं उसका भी आपको अभी एक एग्जांपल दूंगा. आई विल गिव यू एन एग्जांपल दैट हाउ यू हैव टू मेक नोट्स आफ्टर रीडिंग शंकर आईएएस. सो स्टेप 1 इज ओनली टू रीड. इट्स लाइक passing of a bill in parliament. The first stage is not to pass the bill, it is to introduce the bill, right? So please don't make notes in the first instance when you are reading ncrts. Just keep reading them and marking the important points. You can underline, you can highlight them, but please don't make notes. First complete the books in that integrated way that I just told, and then pick up Shankar IAS and read it. Now once you read it, first highlight the book. You have highlighted ncrts, you have highlighted Shankar IAS. Now comes your third stage. In this third stage, what you are going to do now, pick both the books together, the ncrts and Shankar IAS book. Now together, keep chapter by chapter highlighted facts, read them once again, and now start making your notes. Start note making, integrating both the things together, the ncrts and Shankar IAS for environment. Please do it together. Don't make individual notes, otherwise you will end up writing the things again, or perhaps you will make your notes unending. So once you have read ncrt, you have highlighted it, and you have not just read one ncrt, you have read all the ncrts, and you have covered it in a way that you have developed an interdisciplinary approach. आपको एनवायरनमेंट की ज्योग्राफी भी पता है, बायोलॉजी भी पता है, पॉलिटिक्स भी पता है, 3 चीजें आपको पता है। तो आपने एक इंटरडिसिप्लिनरी अप्रोच अडॉप्ट करके अपने नोट्स को पहले फ्रेमवर्क दिया, फिर आपने शंकर आईएएस के नोट्स को पढ़ा। अब दोनों को पढ़ के आपने अपने नोट्स हैंड रिटन, जिन्हें हम बोलते हैं हैंड रिटन नोट्स बनाने शुरू कर दिए। नाउ व्हेन द प्रोसेस ऑफ हैंड रिटन नोट स्टार्टेड, you will meticulously see the highlighted things in both NCRT and Shankar IAS। जब आपने ध्यान से देखा मैंने क्या क्या अंडरलाइन किया हुआ था, क्या क्या हाईलाइट किया हुआ था, उसके बाद उन दोनों चीजों को साइमल्टेनियसली अपनी नोटबुक में लेके आओ, राइट। सो आई विल स्टार्ट मेकिंग माई नोट्स। नाउ व्हेन आई स्टार्ट मेकिंग माई नोट्स, how I will make my notes? This is my notebook or this is my register. I will divide every page into two equal halves. दो halves में divide करके इस तरफ I will start making my notes, right? So मैं notes बना रहा हूं, इसमें NCRTs भी कवर कर ली हैं और इसमें शंकर आईएएस के नोट्स को भी मैंने कवर कर लिया और यहाँ पे मेरे नोट्स बन गए। Never make notes randomly. Always put some headings on the notes. Let's take an example. Political implications of global warming, economic implications of global warming, ethical issues involved in global warming. So you have to understand that the more systematically the notes are, easier it will be for you to write essays or to write answers in mains in a more effective manner. Randomly facts लिखते जाओगे, कहीं से कोई भी फैक्ट मिल गया तो वो नोट्स कैसे हुए? वो तो क्लटर मटेरियल है। अब उसको एक बार और पढ़ोगे फिर दोबारा नोट्स बनाने पड़ेंगे ऑर्गेनाइज वे में। तो हम नोट्स को बना ही ऑर्गेनाइज लेंगे। इसीलिए स्टेप 1 क्या था? टू हाईलाइट द फैक्ट्स। Once you highlighted the facts in stage 1, then you can already on the highlighted side, like on the pages which you have highlighted in the books, what you need to do before you start making your notes. Let's say this is my NCRT and I have highlighted these 4-5 points on one page. So I will see that this is something related to politics, these 2 points are related to economics, and these 2 are related to ethics. So I will pinpoint the facts that these are the specific facts that I am going to put under political heading, economic heading, ethical heading, or any heading that happens to be. So then I will make my notes in a very organized way. Now that I have made my notes, now again come the question, student asking me again and again, and let me give you one answer to all your doubts today. A is preparing for 2021, B is preparing for 2022, C is preparing for, let's say, 23, and D is preparing for 24. So you are the 4 different candidates. When you ask me, sir, when should I start reading newspapers? When should I start reading newspapers? When are the current affairs become relevant? So look at this. For the one who is to appear in 2021, he or she is already late, because we need to know current affairs of 15 to 18 months at least. 15 to 18 months at least. So the one who is aiming for 2021, unfortunately, if they haven't started yet, they have already delayed the process. क्योंकि हमें 15 से 18 महीने के करंट अफेयर्स तैयार करने हैं। अगर हम 2021 के लिए ट्राई कर रहे हैं और अभी हमने करंट अफेयर पढ़ने शुरू नहीं किए, तो हम थोड़ा तो उसको डिले कर ही चुके हैं। अभी भी शुरू करोगे तो शायद पॉसिबल है कंप्लीट कर पाओ। इफ इट इज 2022, you start today, you are well in time. If it is not 2022 but 2023, 2024, now let me ask you a very basic question today, very basic question. What is current today? What is current today? Let's say India China dispute in Ladakh. If it is in news today, what do you think? By 2023, 2024, will it become irrelevant or will it become a part of the regular syllabus? Won't it be a part of your regular syllabus that yes, you have to know about this? What are the irritants in India China relations? You have to mention that now finger 4 area, finger 5 area in eastern Ladakh is a new dispute that has taken shape between India China relations. So how can you ignore these facts while you start preparing for this exam? What are you waiting for? What do you think? UPSC will only ask from the currents and they will not ask about the static things? They definitely will ask, right? So on this point, now let's go to stage 3 of our note making. Stage 1 was where we were talking about reading NCRTs, not making notes. Stage 2 was when we were reading the advanced books and highlighting the important facts. Then after doing these two things, we integrated them and made our own handwritten notes. This is stage 2. Now we come to stage 3. Now what is stage 3? On this blank side of your notebook, you will be reading newspapers, magazines, you will be visiting some of the important websites, you can visit various ministries, you can download their reports, right? You have to make some little extra effort if you want to excel in this exam. अगर आपको स्कोर अच्छा करना है, टॉपर का रैंक लेना है, पहली अटेम्प्ट में, दूसरी अटेम्प्ट में क्लियर करना है, तो बाकियों से ज्यादा एफर्ट तो करना ही होगा. By putting in less efforts and asking for a better result is living in fool's paradise. अगर आप ज्यादा एफर्ट नहीं करते हो और आप कम पढ़ते हो और फिर आप बोलते हो मैं टॉप भी कर जाऊं, ये तो फिर बहुत ही गलत एक विचारधारा होगी जो कभी भी संभव ही नहीं है. राइट? सो व्हेन यू स्टार्ट रीडिंग न्यूज़पेपर, मैगजीन्स और एनी ऑफ द रिपोर्ट्स, अब उसमें इन्वायरमेंट को लेके जो करंट में आ रहा है, व्हाटसोएवर इज इन द न्यूज रिगार्डिंग एनवायरमेंट, टॉपिक बाय टॉपिक, एंड अकॉर्डिंग टू दीज हेडिंग्स स्टार्ट राइटिंग ऑन दिस ब्लैंक स्पेस. राइट? उसको आप इस तरफ लिखना शुरू करो. अब आपके एक मोस्ट कॉम्प्रिहेंसिव करंटली अपडेटेड नोट्स सिंगल स्पेस पे क्रिएट हो गए. You have created your own notes by reading multiple sources. And remember, इस लाइन को ध्यान से सुनना जो मैं आपको अब बोलने जा रहा हूं. All the while you are preparing these notes, you are not preparing for the exam, you are preparing for the preparation of this exam. Right? The day these notes are completed, the day this side is completed, your journey for your preparation has ended. Now the genuine preparation starts. जब तक आपकी ये साइड कंप्लीट नहीं हुई कि आपने एनसीईआरटीज एडवांस बुक्स को इंटीग्रेटेड वे में पढ़कर, हाईलाइट कर कर उसके नोट्स नहीं बनाए, तब तक आपकी तैयारी नहीं शुरू हुई. उस तैयारी की तैयारी चल रही थी. राइट? जिस दिन ये साइड कंप्लीट है, द डे दिस साइड इज डन, now you have started your preparation, now you are running the race. On this side you are not running the race, you are in your ग्राउंड्स, यू आर इन योर प्राइवेट अरेनास. आप अपनी प्राइवेट प्रैक्टिस कर रहे थे, पर्सनल ग्रूमिंग कर रहे थे. अब आप उस कंपटीशन में आ गए हो जिसमें सिंसियर स्टूडेंट्स हैं जो रिजल्ट देते हैं. सो वंस यू एंटर दिस साइड, यू एंटर द रेस एज अ कंटेस्टेंट एंड नॉट एज अ like a spectator or a visitor. So here you are in the race now. Now the more you put effort on this side, the better the result will be. Do you guys agree what I have explained? So first step of your note making is clear. Now what doubts you have in your mind, you can ask me by typing. I'm not giving mic for the while because it will then hijack the entire webinar. I will give mic at the end. Anything that you have in your mind, you can ask me. See, I tell you, any report which is more than 18 to 24 months old, 1.5 to 2 years old, that must have now been incorporated in the books, the advanced books that I'm talking about, or even if not incorporated, what you need to understand, as we always talk about Administrative Reforms Commission reports, right? They are so important even if they are now 7 years, 8 years, or 10 years old. But remember, all the good textbooks must be having in them the recommendations of ARC. So even if you don't read those reports, you will by default be reading them when you will be reading some good book. जब भी आप कोई अच्छी बुक पढ़ोगे उसमें आपको ARC की रिपोर्ट अपने आप मिलेगी ही मिलेगी. All right? Any other doubt specifically? All right. Now let's stop this chat for a while. Otherwise, you guys will be more inclined towards only chat instead of listening to important things. So let's get to the point. Now we will talk about another important thing: how to read newspaper. How to read newspaper, right? This is very important thing. Many people find it very difficult. They keep on wasting their time, and most of the time they never understand that what is not to be read. We keep wasting our time, right? And moreover, another important thing that we need to know, people usually make their separate notes from newspapers. That is something called suicidal. You will create multiple sources to revise from, which will never be possible. So here our effort must be to make one integrated notes, as I just explained. Now I have given you one example from environment. Let's take another example from history, right? Let's take an example from economics. I will give you an example from history too, making it current related, right? We will take an example from history to know that how newspapers will help us make our notes more meaningful when it comes to history, be it ancient, medieval, modern, or world history. But before that, let's understand one topic of economics, right? So the easiest example to understand how economics can be integrated from the standard books and from the NCRTs and then the newspapers, let's try then understand it. Let's take this example. So this is the same notebook in which I am making my notes, right? And let's say I start with the topic called banking. Fine. Now, when I start topic of banking, there is NCRT from which I will read basics of banking, and then perhaps I can choose from the advanced books, and the advanced books be like I can read either Ramesh Singh sir's book or I can read Sanjeev Verma sir's book. That is your personal choice. You can pick any of these two, right? It can be Ramesh Singh sir's book or it can be Sanjeev Verma sir's book after NCRT. And same way, read first your NCRT, highlight the important facts, then read either of these two books. Usually you will find people telling you that this is better books for Ramesh Singh is better for pre and Sanjeev Verma is better for mains, but there is no such point. You read any of these and you will get ample of information which is importantly required for this exam, right? तो पहले आपने एनसीईआरटीज पढ़ी, उसको हाईलाइट किया, फिर आपने रमेश सिंह या संजीव वर्मा में से किसी एक बुक को पढ़ा, उसको हाईलाइट किया. अब इनके आप एक बार बना लो नोट्स इंटीग्रेटेड वे में, राइट? आपने बेसिक नोट्स बना लिए इकोनॉमिक्स के. अब बात आती है न्यूज़पेपर्स की, मैगजीन्स की, बजट जो हर साल नया आएगा, इकोनॉमिक सर्वे जो नया आएगा, राइट? अब जब आप पिछली बार की रमेश सिंह पढ़ोगे तो उस रमेश सिंह में पिछली बार के बजट और इकोनॉमिक सर्वे के नोट्स तो बने हुए हैं. सो देर इज नो नीड कि अब आप पिछला इकोनॉमिक सर्वे और बजट करो. दैट वंस यू पिक अप आइदर ऑफ दीज टू बुक्स, you will definitely get the important points from the previous budget and economic survey. So there is no need to now go and read the previous year budgets or economic surveys. But yes, once you buy this book, you have to now update them. So new budget and new economic survey, it will be your responsibility to be added on this side of the book, right? Your notebook. So newspaper, magazines, budget, and economic survey. Now let's understand how we can make one such comprehensive notes that will cater to the needs of this exam in all possible ways. एक ऐसा नोट जो इस प्री और मेंस के एग्जाम को हर पॉसिबल वे में कवर करने में हमारी हेल्प करे. लेट्स टेक दैट एग्जांपल. While making my notes on banking, right? This is page 1 of banking. Perhaps I started with what is bank, what are the types of banks, what are the functions of bank, right? Everything, the monetary policy, the physical policy, where the bank is important, where the bank is not important. I am reading everything and making my structured notes. Perhaps while I reach page number 10, on this page number 10, let's say I have come to the topic called, on page number 10, I am talking about the topic of NPA, non-performing assets. So in my book, I find only a couple of facts about NPA. So I made my notes about NPA in about 4-5 points, and that is it. From then newspapers, perhaps this is the note that I made, let's say on 15th of October 2020, I made a note on NPAs. Then let's say in December 2020, there is a news that to put a check on NPAs, the government of India has appointed a committee, let's say XYZ committee. Now a new committee has been appointed. For my pre, I need to know the name of this committee, the reference of this committee, not the members of this committee, but at least the chairman of the committee and the terms of reference of this committee. I need to know from my pre perspective. So once I start making notes from newspaper, in December a committee was constituted. Then by let's say March, the committee gave its report. Now I need to know the recommendations of the committee. What report the committee has given, I need to note down what were the recommendations of XYZ committee pertaining to NPAs, right? Once this committee gives its report, it is presented in the parliament, let's say, because parliament is in session, and parliament, after taking up the committee's report, plans to pass a new act. This new act, let's say it is called NPA Controlling Act, right? Simple name, NPA Controlling Act. So now that parliament has passed an act, I need to write about this act on this side, right? After some time of this passing of the act, now after let's say a couple of months, in let's say June or in July, there start coming some articles in the newspaper that what are the strengths and what are the limitations of this act, right? The strengths and limitations of this act, I will write it here. Now imagine that in your mains exam, they ask you a question that what led to NPA problem in India? The answer is on this side. What recent initiatives were taken by Government of India to tackle with the situation? The answer is on this side. Or they may ask you, in the light of the recent initiatives by the Government of India to tackle with the problem of NPA, what are the limitations that resulted in the failure of the efforts of the government? The entire answer is on this side. But once you start writing your answer, you have to define what is NPA. So at least the opening line is on this side of your notebook. So this is one such way in which you will end up making such a comprehensive note with such an ease, and with your own hands you will make them, that there will never be a possibility that you will forget that how these notes are to be remembered in your exam. Because you have read them, you have made them, you will always remember them, right? Now once all these notes are made, as I said, once all these notes are made, you have integrated 10 different sources into one single notebook of yours, be it history, polity, economy, geography, science, international relations, ethics, society, anything, right? Now that you have completed the circle, all the 10 books are in your single source. Now please revise them at least 5 times. If you revise them 5 times, you have basically revised 50 books, right? 50 revisions you have done by doing only 5 revisions, because all the sources, different sources, are in a single source. If this is done, nobody can stop your selection. But if you are not doing this, you are leaving things for chance. And remember, there is always a slip. You will not be 100% sure of your success, and then the result will be sorry appear again. But if you have done the entire hard work, now the luck comes, and luck always favors the brave. So who are brave? Who have taken all the journey themselves rather than finding for shortcuts. As the oldest saying for all of us, as our parents told us, there is no shortcut to the success. So stop going for notes, ready-made material, read good books, read your newspaper, make your notes, and evaluate them by sitting for tests, right? That's the most important thing. Now, it is open to you guys. I will first ask you guys to raise your hands now one by one so that I can take your doubts, right? So here we are. First is Akanksha Singh. Akanksha, please switch on your mic. Akanksha, I've given you your mic. Now, can you please switch it on quickly, or you want me to move on to the next candidate? And in the meanwhile, I'm opening the chat box in case you want to ask anything. All right, Akanksha, thank you. Bye-bye. Next is AKS. Hemlata, new NCRTs. That's the best thing. AKS, do you want to ask anything, or you just raise your hand accidentally? Uday, Uday Kiran, please ask.
read newspapers.
हाँ जी उदय बोलो.
Sir, how to read newspapers?
देखो मैं
Generally,
आप सबको एक बात बताता हूँ.
there
हमारा
is lot
एक
of
लिसन
information
लिसन
in
लिसन
newspapers
लिसन
where we,
न्यूज़पेपर की बात का आंसर मैं बड़ा इजीली आपको देता हूँ. सुनो ध्यान से. हमारा एक टेलीग्राम का ग्रुप बना हुआ है. टेलीग्राम ग्रुप, उस टेलीग्राम ग्रुप का नाम है फ्री स्टडी मटेरियल फॉर आईएएस, राज आईएएस. राइट. आप उस टेलीग्राम ग्रुप पे आओ, उसको सब्सक्राइब कर लो. नाउ व्हाट वी प्रोवाइड इन दैट टेलीग्राम ग्रुप, डेली न्यूज़पेपर के नोट्स हम प्रोवाइड करते हैं बड़े सिस्टमैटिक वे में. जैसा मैंने बोला ना, आप स्ट्रक्चर बनाओ, हेडिंग्स बनाओ, एग्जैक्टली वैसे हम आपको नोट्स प्रोवाइड करते हैं. साथ में डेली 5 एमसीक्यू और 2 मेंस के क्वेश्चंस भी देते हैं एडिटोरियल्स के साथ. Firstly, we will give you daily analysis of newspaper along with 5 practice questions MCQ and 2 practice questions for mains. Besides that, we will provide you weekly summary of current affairs, newspaper, magazines, weekly summary, right? So every day you get a note, then weekly you get your revision sheet. Then third, we give you monthly revision sheet, daily, weekly, monthly. Then we provide you quarterly. After every 3 months, we integrate the news so that you can quickly revise the past 3 months once again. After that, we will provide you half yearly and finally yearly. So we will provide you daily sheet and 5 more revision sheets, which will integrate all the current affairs and they will start running with your blood. Besides doing these daily analysis of Hindu and Express, we will provide you summaries of Down to Earth magazine, summaries of Yojana, summaries of Kurukshetra, and much more than that, only in that Telegram group, and it is free for all. Free for all, and it is free study material for IAS, Raj Malhotra IAS, right? Simple. Somebody has already shared the link, I suppose, here, right? Somebody has already shared the link. You guys can join it. So Hindu, Express, everything, even Live Mint, everything is covered in it. Besides that, on our YouTube channel, Raj Malhotra IAS, please do subscribe it. It will be very, very helpful for you. On that channel, every morning at 9:30, Varun sir comes and he takes up the Hindu newspaper and read it. What is important, what is not important in about 40 minutes. And not just read it, he explains it from this exam's perspective. So you can come on our YouTube channel, you can subscribe it, and you will end up gaining lot from that morning session, in which you will find that how beautifully sir has made you understand that what is to be read and what is not to be read. 40 minutes and Hindu is done. Then in the evening, sir will take up some of the important editorials. In the day, Vivek sir is starting from 4th of this month. Vivek sir is starting every day MCQ series based on newspapers in a live session, right? Every day you will get it. So this channel will help you a lot. Raj Malhotra IAS YouTube channel. Do subscribe it. We are already about to reach 2 lakh subscription. Why? Because we are catering to various needs of the students and we are not charging for these kind of courses. We are helping students in a very genuine way. Moreover, we are running a course on political science international relation option free of cost. Soon we are planning to bring some more optional free of cost for the students so that we can help them, right? So join the Telegram group. It is Raj Malhotra, free study material for IAS with Raj Malhotra, and YouTube channel. That will help you a lot. Hanji Udayji, I hope you have got your answer.
yes, sir.
All right. History. Yes, Shraddha, I'm going to give an example on history. After that, I will take up your next doubts. So when I talk about history and current affairs, let's see at this now, right? Can you guys quickly tell me with which part of history, ancient, medieval, modern, or world history, with which part you want me to explain that how current affairs become important? Okay, let me give you an example from all four because everybody is demanding something different. So let's start with ancient India, right? Let's say in ancient India, we talk about temple architecture. We talk about temple architecture. There are three kinds of temple architecture. In the north, we have Nagara style. In the Deccan, we have Vesara style. And in the south, we have Dravida style. Right now, various kingdoms are associated with these temples. Done. Various dynasties, various kingdoms, they are associated with these temple styles. Now, let's take an example. there is one Dravida temple, for example, let's say X temple, which now completes its, let's say, 500 years or 1500 years, or let's say thousands years or 2500 years. Now, this happens to be in the newspaper because it is completing a historical milestone. But how UPSC will test your knowledge? If, let's say, X temple of Dravid style is in news, they may ask you a question citing the name of X, then asking which of the following features are present in this temple. You need to know that in Dravida style there is a Gopuram. You need to know that what is Vimana or Shikhra, what is Amalakkam, is there a mandapa or a ardha mandapa in this type of a temple. So the four features that have been asked, they are from the static part, but this temple specifically when asked, it is possibility that it is because it was in news for some good reason, right? Either reaching a historical milestone, or inversely there is a possibility that recently it got some UNESCO heritage status. In case either of the two things happen, it will be in the news. Once it is in the news, now you need to know that why it was in news and what are the attribute or the features of this kind of architecture. Another question that they can ask you, let's say it is a Dravid style of temple, they just simply forget that who made it or why this temple is in news. They may end up asking that which of the following four dynasties are associated with Dravida style of temple architecture. Usually we see that these are random questions asked. No, there was a news of a specific temple that was made in Dravida style. So even Dravida style was in news. Now they ask you a question randomly. You were more comfortable if you are reading newspapers and revising your history. I hope you understood. All right. Now let me give you one information, side information, not related to this entire webinar, but that side information. When people ask me very basic questions, then I have to tell them that we run one NCRT course, right? This NCRT course is from for 60 to 70 days, in which from 6 to 12, whichever NCRT and whichever topic of that NCRT is important, we will explain it in a live class, right? Live class. We have already run 5 successful batches of NCRT in last 4 months, right? We have to run 2 batches simultaneously because there was so much of demand for this NCRT batch. So we started this NCRT batch. This 5 batches completed. 6th batch is now starting from 5th of October, and we already have got a lot many registrations for this batch, right? 60 to 70 days, 6 to 12 NCRTs. We will explain them in live lecture, and we will provide you PDF revision notes. Your NCRT notes we will make, so that you understand NCRTs, and without making your notes, you get the notes. And we will give you MCQ test for evaluation, that have you genuinely understood or not, right? So this 60 to 70 day course will be live, and in case anyone miss a class or anyone intend to repeat the class, you will get recorded lectures too. And the access of this batch, whosoever joins it, after the end of 70 days, you will get access for another 30 days. This is 100 days batch, in which you will cover your NCRTs, you will get PDF note, you will get MCQ test for self-evaluation, and you will get revision time for your lectures too. And this course is available at 5,000 rupees. So in case any one of you intends to join this batch, you need to only send a WhatsApp message or SMS to me on this is my personal number. You can send me WhatsApp or SMS on this number, and I will share the details of the batch with you, right? So this is another way we can help you by doing this batch. By enrolling for this batch, your stage 1 will be helped by us. Stage 2, you can decide whether you want to go for advanced course with us or anyone else, or if by stage 1 you have understood all the concepts, you can go for self study too. So in 5,000 you will get to know what is important in which NCRT, how these NCRTs are to be integrated, and how the notes are to be made. And along with this, we will give you 5 classes of current affairs separately, so that you understand that how current affairs are to be prepared, right? So whosoever is now interested, they can send me a message or SMS, preferably WhatsApp, and I will immediately connect with them. We are starting this batch from 5th. All right. So Aditya Singh, what you want to ask, tell me. New NCRTs are
No,
always better. Tell me.
actually, the new NCRTs are good or old,
New NCRTs. It is always
and
new NCRTs which make better sense.
I also need your WhatsApp group link.
Sir, here it is. My number is here. You can send me a message.
Okay, thank you.
All right, Ji. All right. Harshita Shukla, tell me, beta, what you want to know.
Sir, actually, I like I'm an MBA, so I wanted to know that which subject is best optional for me.
See, I tell you something. Optional is to be the last thing to be decided. Last thing in the sense that once you have tasted different subjects, it
Okay.
should not be a decision taken in a hurry, because option is going to make and mar the entire attempt. So unless you have read at least 2 or 3 different topics of GS, don't make up your choice for optional. And if you have done your MBA, then management is the natural subject that you should go for.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
All right, Ji. Next is Arpita. Bolo beta.
Hello,
हाँ जी.
sir. I actually want to know कि I mean, although I am preparing for, but is it really okay to prepare for one more year, like targeting 2025 or 2026?
See, whenever we start our preparation, we must aim for our first attempt, and we must give our 100% best to it. In case we are not selected for the next attempt, it will be 200% preparation. But in the first instance, if we start thinking like whether this or that year, then the mind becomes relaxed and there will never be complete preparation.
So, I mean, uh, what do you recommend? Like making preparation for at least 2 to 3 years is enough?
Sir, 18 months preparation will always be a fantastic idea. Beyond 18
Okay,
years, whatever you are putting in effort, it's a cherry on a cake.
okay,
All right.
okay, sir.
All right.
Thank you.
Jitinder Prakash.
Sir, I want to know what the complete book list because I want to buy the books for my preparation. So can you please share us the book list?
Sir, you send me one WhatsApp. I will share a book list. Right.
Okay, thank you, sir.
All right, जी. जितेंद्र जी, ऐसा है, mathematics option, for mathematics option, we have already shared the previous selected candidates videos on our YouTube. Go and have a look at it. You will get your answer. Prasad.
Hello, sir.
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Yes, Prasad, I can hear you. Tell me. Sir, Prasad, your voice is cracking. Please, Prasad, your voice is cracking. Please send a text message here in the chat box. Nitin Kumat.
Hello, sir.
Yes, sir.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Sir, I want to know, sir, which type of NCRT, which class of NCRT we should read for political science.
You
Sir,
send me WhatsApp message. I'm sending across a detailed book list to you guys, right?
thank you, sir. Sir, I want to know one more question, sir. I want to ask.
Yes.
Sir, I am a beginner and I am in first year of BSc. So, sir, should I start preparation from now?
The best example for all of us should always be Madam Tina Dabi, who scored rank 1 in her first attempt, and she herself told us that she started her journey immediately after her class 12.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
All
I
right.
will be there on WhatsApp, sorry.
All right, G. So let's keep it now. Let's bring it to an end because most of us have the same doubts. You can send me WhatsApp messages or text messages. I will be replying to you prompts there. Right? So best of luck, everyone. God bless you all.
Okay, sir.
इसको
Bye,
कोई
sir.
भी डाउट है वो मेरे को एक अब WhatsApp पे मैसेज कर दे. I will reply them. Take
Okay,
care,
sir. Thank
everybody.
you.
Take care. Bye bye. Good night.
Good night, sir.